Hello, everybody. This is your host, Barona. Today is a special day, and you know why? Today marks the first episode of the brand new show here on this channel's revival. It's called Let's Talk About It. A series where I take games, TV shows, movies, and others. I give my honest review based on the experiences of the media, and I encourage you to do the same if you haven't already seen or played it. Today, we will be discussing Exit 8, the game version, because I didn't know there was a movie about this game until after I actually freaking played it. We'll cover the movie version at a later date. Anyways, for those unaware, Exit 8 is a 2023 indie adventure game developed by Kotake Create. I probably butchered that name, and I apologize in advance. I'm not good at Japanese names, to be perfectly honest with you. They give a brief summary. The game is basically a walking simulator with a twist. It essentially operates in a similar fashion to the backrooms, to my knowledge. I have no clue what the backrooms even are, but the endless looping, repeating looping concept remind me of it, so I'll make that assumption. The twist is that you gotta spot the difference in the hallways to escape the looping subway station. You might be thinking to yourself, this doesn't seem complicated, this should be easy. Trust me, it really isn't, sometimes. Further, especially the further into the game you go, the differences get harder and crazier to navigate. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, this game scared the shit out of me, because every time that I turned that corner, I would just be so nervous about what crazy thing is about to change so rapidly. Okay, I've talked enough about the premise of Exit 8 itself, to the best of my knowledge. Let's talk about my personal experience of it first, alright? I recorded some gameplay footage with my time with the game, and I'll be sharing that with you as we go along. Without further ado, let's talk about it. I was surprised to be immediately dropped into the game itself after the title screen, and I was greeted by doors, posters, alarms, white walls, and yellow lines. Most importantly, I realized that I wasn't alone in this space. A man with a briefcase, who I assume is a businessman, can be seen walking casually through the hallways with me. Of course, I would soon learn that this man walking with me in the station was not normal at all. He's really freaking weird, or some kind of demon thing. I don't know what the frick his problem was. Naturally, the first few loops of this game was allowing me to get familiar with my surroundings, understand what was going on, looking back. I wish I understood the point that the game was trying to tell me, as it would have saved me some minutes of utter confusion. Eventually, I arrived at my first anomaly, of course. I wasn't aware of it at the time. After following the businessman for a few out of sheer curiosity, because I was wondering what the heck he was even going in the first place, I turned around and ran back to where I was, expecting him to just be walking as normal. Except he wasn't. Instead, he was just standing there looking at his phone. It was a surprise for me, but I didn't think anything about it was wrong, so I continued on my way. That was my first mistake. You see, in this game, there are rules that you must follow in order to exit Section 8. Exit 8, my bad. Don't overlook any anomalies. That's rule number 1. Small, large, it doesn't freaking matter. If anything feels wrong or off than is normally supposed to happen, that's a sign for rule 2. Rule 2. If you find any anomalies, turn back immediately. This is a very, very important rule that I need to follow, that you should follow if you're playing this game blind or just want to play in the future or whatever. If you don't follow Rule 2, you won't be able to beat the game, because your progress in this game will be reset to 0 every single time you fail to detect an anomaly or you fail to, play the game properly. And there's 8 levels to this. So if you even miss a single one, you gotta go all the way back to 0 from the very beginning. And that's a lot. Moving back to Rule 1, what happens if you detect no anomalies during the loop? That brings us up to Rule 3. If you don't find any anomalies, do not turn back. Alright, so, keeping all those rules in mind, let's play a game round, alright? I'm going to personally count how many anomalies I failed to detect during this short segment of the game that I managed to record. Because I'm pretty sure I missed a lot. I failed to detect a few of them, actually. Unfortunately, I didn't record any sound for some reason, so you can't hear my voice during the gameplay, which is a shame because I actually did record some decent reactions to stuff happening within the game, especially when it started getting into the scary territory. After a while of running around, I started to notice maybe another anomaly. This businessman wasn't appearing where he normally would be. I'm not 100% sure if this was an anomaly or not. However, I'm going to count this as one because, of course, he is supposed to be there. Around 7 minutes into my run, I came across another anomaly that was starting to reach the very creepy as hell and strange territory. I came across the businessman again, right? As normal, but this time, he just stopped walking on his path and instead stared into the distance. I thought it was weird and looked away. Then, when I turned around, he was staring at me. Then I realized, oh crap, he turned into a freaking weeping angel from Doctor Who. Once I realized this, I started to run away because I didn't want him to freaking touch me or send me back or what the frick he was going to do if he even touched me. Here's the problem though. In my panic at the realization of Weeping Angel Businessman, I failed to follow the rules of Exit H, which was, if I see an anomaly, turn back to where I came from. I failed to do this, and so, instead of, turning around and running back to where I came from, I continued forward, thus reverting me back to level 0. It was so annoying to rewatch this footage and see my foolishness as I saw the level 0 sign in the footage. After a while, I managed to more or less grasp the rules of Exit A, probably because I kept looking at the sign every 5 seconds and just tried my best to follow them to the best of my knowledge. Nothing of actual interest happened for quite some time until 11 minutes in which I came across another interesting anomaly. Walking the hallway as normally until I heard a strange noise like flickering lights. I saw the businessman and turned around to see if he was going to do something strange. Instead, I was greeted to pitch black darkness behind my back. At this moment, I should have ran into the darkness because that wasn't normal, but I was too scared of the unknown, and so I ran forward, thus reverting me to level 0 again. Are you starting to see a pattern? Because I truly am. Another minute later, I came across one of the doors being open. This one should have been a no-brainer because that hasn't happened not even once during the entire duration of this run thus far, and yet it's opening now of all times. A normal person who understands the rules of this game would have calmly turned around and walked back, right? Well, clearly not me. Instead, I had the bright idea of walking into the door of darkness itself. Wanna know what happened? Easy. Level 0 again for like the 4th time. Nothing of very interest happened. Lights flickering, which was another anomaly that I should have spotted, but I didn't. Towards the end, I came across a set of stairs at the end of the hallway. Of course, that wasn't normal because we were nowhere even near a reason for stairs in the first place. I assume you get stairs maybe when you beat the game, but I was not even close to beating the game. I think I was at level 3 or something when this happened. Furthermore, if that wasn't weird enough, the businessman wasn't there. So I knew that was an anomaly, so I just turned around and ran the other way. After that, though, that was the last one of my recorded footage because I stopped the game right after that because I had stuff I needed to do. So, with that being said, I kind of just stopped playing after that. I might go back another time when I have time, but for right now, with that being said, I think it's time for me to give my complete and honest review of this game. So, shall we get started? Exit 8 was a game that I actually really enjoyed. It's a simple walking game of spot the difference where the differences can range from creepy to scary in an instant with no warning in advance. It truly kept me on the edge of my seat. My only regret is that I wish I actually remembered the rules as I was running away with my tail between my legs, but it's all good. I still had a good time. I highly recommend this game to anyone who hasn't played it yet. It's definitely a good one. It's currently out right now on PS Plus. That's how I played it. If you have done a PlayStation. Otherwise, I think it's only like $5 something elsewhere on other platforms, maybe even less. I am rather curious about how the movie can adapt this, because there is a movie version of this that came out like sometime last year. And based on the small research I did, which was just look at the name of the movie, which was just Exit 8, the movie, basically. It's an hour and a half long, so I am very curious to how they can adapt this short game to that length. So, for my first review, I wholeheartedly give this game a 8 out of 10. It's not bad, by no means, don't get me wrong. It's a decent game if you want to play with friends, which I might do on my second run, or you just want to pass time. I recommend it. I might check out the movie later to make a review of that. With that concludes the first episode. Let's talk about it. Thank you for those who have reached the end of this video. I'm grateful to have you with me during this time. Furthermore, don't be afraid to recommend other forms of media that I potentially haven't played or watched. My comic section is always open. With that being said, I want to thank you for allowing me to talk to you about this game and talk about how bad I am at following basic instructions. This is your host, Bologna, signing off for today's episode. I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye now.